Hey guys, thanks for watching the Install Pros channel. Today we're going to be showing you some tint tips and tricks that will help you get a cleaner install when you're installing window film. If you're new to our channel, please check out the description of this video as we'll have a link to our giveaway. We'll have a link to the tools that we use, so check it out.
Hey guys, today I'm going to share with you a handful of tricks, give you a few good tips on how to get your installs turn out a little bit cleaner. Learned a lot of these through the years, and we've had a lot of questions about contamination, dust, different things. So I'm going to go over a list of do's and don'ts and share those things with you. A lot of it's in regards to cleaning. The first thing that I would say is use filtered water. So if you're a shop, get yourself a filter and put it in line on your water source. I did that probably 10 years ago, and it really helped a lot. If you're just do-it-yourselfer at home, you can, use bottled water. Take some purified water, bottled water, and just fill up your spray bottle with it for the car that you're tinting that day or the window that you're tinting. It won't be real expensive, but that's going to pull some debris out, a little bit of grit, and sometimes it can be really dirty water that you're using, and then you get specks of contamination in your film. That's one thing. The next thing is always make sure your tools are clean. Your window cleaning squeegee, I've seen a lot of guys through the years that have worked for me in different things. Their tools will get a little dirty, or they'll set them down. If this is the ground and they set them down like this, on the seat or over here on the floorboard or wherever they're setting them, and they set them squeegee down and then they pick them up and go to the window with them. Well, set it facing up. Just, wherever you're setting it on the seat or wherever you're setting it, just set it facing up. A lot of guys will wear a tool pouch. That's great. I wore one for years. And then you just, can clip it on over here or whatever. Sometimes the pouches can get dirty down in the bottom through the years. And if you stuff that squeegee in the front and it's all the way in the bottom, it's going to come back out with the grit on it. So you either need to clean it or just hang it on the edge. But face up, make sure your tools are clean. If you get them dirty and they're dropping on the ground, you got to clean them off and stuff. You can't expect to have a clean install with dirty tools. So that's number one. And the next thing is just how good of a job you do prepping the glass and cleaning the glass. We went over in our other videos, you can use a box razor blade to scrape, or a white Scotch-Brite pad won't scratch the glass to scrub it, towel the edge and squeegee. But there's a lot of times, even on newer cars, there's a dealer sticker and it'll leave adhesive. Stickers down in the corner and they'll leave some adhesive. If it's an older car, sometimes you'll spray it wet and just kind of scrub over it and squeegee it. But if there was, a kid stuck his sucker there in the sun, and you don't happen to see that little spot, you'll squeegee over it, even scrub over it. It's not going to bring it off, and then you'll tint. You'll have this little piece of contamination in there. So use your eyes. And then I also, when I spray a window wet, I'll take my hand a lot of times and I'll just rub it over and feel it. Sometimes I'll feel something and I can't quite see it, and then I'll go over and find it and scrub it off. So I kind of rub my hand along the window and go, oh, there's some glue down there I didn't know about. Or there's a little bit of adhesive left from that sticker that I didn't see. So rubbing your hand across the window is a really good thing to do. Matter of fact, I do that every time I tint a car window. I do that on every window. Because you'll feel even the smallest little thing on there. And then, look close. Don't just spray it wet and scrub and follow the procedure and go, I think I got everything. Feel around and look really good. That's probably a really good one as well. So the filtered water, one thing I'll go over for you guys, if you're doing an older car and it has felt, a lot of cars will have felt back in there, and the felt collects little hairs and dust and debris and stuff. Sometimes you can take your heat gun and just kind of warm that. It'll kind of singe some of that stuff. That's one way I've seen it done. It works pretty good, but you don't have to tape it off. But if you want to take a piece of tape, for the sake of the video, I'll just tape that off. But just get yourself a piece of tape. And if you've got felt, you can do this on normal edges too, rubber edges or whatever you want to tape your edges. If you're a good installer and you get your film straight and you slide it back in and you clean good, you're not going to get much back there. But if you really want to make sure you get very little contamination, your car's a little older, it's got felt edges, If you're a new tinner, haven't been doing it that long, you can tape your edges. So you got this rubber gasket here, and just take a piece of tape and put it right there, and just put it in, tuck it back in there like that. Okay, and you've taped off that rubber gasket or that felt edge there. You're still going to tint it. You're still going to slide your film in there. But when that tint's kind of curved up right there and exposed, the adhesive side, once you pull the liner and you're trying to get it into position, if it touches, it's just touching that clean piece of tape instead of the rubber gasket, the edge of the plastic, the felt that has dust and debris on it. So taping your edges is a good trick. It actually works great. It's not all that fun if you're doing volume to tape off every edge on every car all the time. If you're good, you can usually get back in there, but that's a good trick. Another one would be, I've seen a lot of guys, they'll spray the window wet and they'll just kind of squeegee it off. Razor blade it, scrubby pad it with the white pad. One thing I'm going to show you real quick, I'm going to go ahead, I have a pattern here, so I'm going to tint this window, and I'm going to explain a lot of it as I go again. So, what I first do, I spray the window wet and I rub my hand and I'm feeling for stuff. If I feel something, then I'll come over here and I'll get it off. In this case, I don't, it's clean. So the next thing that I do is I towel the edge. So just make sure that you always have a brand new paper towel. Don't use the one you used on the other window, the one that came off the tool bench or the ground or whatever. Brand new clean one. I always fold the edge and just kind of get a clean edge like that so I can tuck it back in there far. And then I press it with my finger and I run the towel down the edge across the bottom. And you can see, if you want to zoom in on that, this is a new Toyota Tundra that's been cleaned already, and I still got a little bit of debris and stuff out of there. So then don't use that same spot to wipe the rest. Fold the towel over and go to a new spot. Okay. And go across the top of the window. Okay. Rotate to another clean spot on the towel. Tuck it in and go down that side. And then wipe the top of the door panel off. That's another trick. And this side. You shouldn't be touching that a lot, but sometimes you accidentally do. So wipe down the area around. Make sure that top edge right there where it might touch is wiped down with that towel. And then I just discard that. And then I go up the side, across the top, down, twist and back up. The reason I do this is I want to try to squeegee the whole window without lifting my squeegee off the glass. Like that. Because whatever dirty water is on there that you're squeegeeing off is right now on the lip of that squeegee as you're pulling. It's riding right there. So as soon as you go like that and you're stuck, and then you come stick it on the window again to go like that, you're going to have a line of dirt. So in your window, you've tinted one a lot of times, you get done, like, why do I have this little line of specks of dust? That's why. So try this pattern and try to finish without lifting the squeegee off the glass. If you do, just wipe it clean and then start where you need to. Then you just spray it wet. We have dates on these bottles. So what happens is you use baby shampoo, and after so many months, it'll build up on the bottom. You'll get some soap scum build up. And we just discard these and get new ones. But if you're using the same bottle you've had around for years, and you're spraying windows, you're wondering why you're getting little white specks in there. Those white specks are broken up pieces of build up soap from the bottom of the bottle that it's sucking up. So make sure you have a nice new clean bottle. That's really big too, and the filtered water that's going into it. So you got filtered clean water in a clean new bottle with no build up soap scum, and that's what you're spraying on the glass, okay? Whatever you're using for a peel plate, so wherever your pattern is that you're going to peel the liner down, whether it's a piece of glass, a window in a house, back window in a car, in this case my peel plate is the outside of this door, make sure that that's clean. Because when you peel that liner down, your pattern's now exposed to all the elements. It's a sticky part. So you're going to start spraying that. If it's real dirty around that pattern and water runs onto it, it's going to bring the dirt with it. And so just make sure where you've got your pattern is clean. So the outside of this door is my peel plate. It's clean, so I'm going to peel the liner off now. When you're sticking the pattern, I'll always lift up on that to get the slack out. I'll start with one side. I'll tuck the clear liner under and fold it over, and I'll slide that back in. Notice I haven't even looked at the other side. I just kind of know that where it's at, and I'm used to that. And I want it to be out off the glass a little, so I'm not real focused on that right now. I'm getting that tucked back in. I'll tuck that side first. And I'm going to make sure that this clear liner, that I folded that over. And then I'm going to get that straight, and then I'm going to go in with it. Okay? Adjust my pattern, get it right on the top edge. One thing I didn't explain, because I had already done this one, I hadn't rolled it up. Normally I would start with the window up, and I would clean the bottom and clean the window, and then I would roll it down. This one had already been cleaned. So we're good there. Okay, I make sure my squeegee's clean. Now, I had this in a clean spot and it was fine, but it's just a habit now. I'll always just take my hand and just kind of rub it across the top of the squeegee, because if you get a grain of sand on that and you go across, it's one grain of sand's going to scratch the film. So I have a habit of just wiping that before I go to the glass. Sometimes I'll wipe it almost every time, like when I go to the edge, because if you get a grain that's of sand or dirt that's back in there on that gasket, and you come with the next one. So sometimes I'll even, I'll wipe it off as I go. It's a newer, cleaner car. I'll just kind of keep squeegeeing. If I was pushing up like this and went too far and I hit up there, I'd be like, well, that could have been dirty, so I'll wipe it. I'll scratch the film. When I wrap the hard card, I always pull it really tight on the blue towel like that. Make sure that's real tight. But I follow the same pattern with the hard card and towel as I did with the squeegee, working from the center out. Overlapping pattern. So I've taken the corner of my card there and kind of got it back in and run it down. Now I'm going to take this corner and the same corner, or sometimes I'll flip my card so it's the opposite corner, and I'll kind of run it back in there. Another good trick is to take the heat gun and heat up these top corners and top edge before you roll it up in there. I've got my tack solution dialed in really good, and I'm in a shop that's 70 degrees. And I know this particular vehicle, so I'll just put a little pressure on the glass as I roll down. I don't need to worry about those corners and edges heating them up. So go ahead and press out on the glass to take a little pressure off of this top corner and edge when it goes up in there. Okay, I lift up on this. Now that that's come out of the bottom gasket, this is where you get the most dirt. This is where people struggle the most. All the people that have worked for me and tinners I've seen, and this is where you get the most dirt, because you've rolled that up out of there now, out of the gasket, and you had to roll the window down to tin it. So what you really need to do is spray at the angle up in there, like that, and really just kind of flush and rinse, okay? A lot of people worry about flooding water and a lot of water going down to the electronics in the door, and yeah, you need to be cautious of what might get in there. But if you looked at the inside of this door panel, this gasket right here it goes down. The electronics are all in here. Sometimes there's one down the door panel, but there's a clear piece of plastic that's hot glued to the metal. 95% of the time. So that water is dripping out of the corner right there onto the ground, and it's not really getting electronics wet. It can, disclaimer, it can, but 95% of the time it's not gonna bother anything. So rinse your glass off good there so you don't get dirt and lint and stuff through there. Okay, be gentle about pulling off your liner. Okay, and when you do this, you just up, down, in. Be patient. Go slow and be patient with the film. If you try to rush it and force it and you're impatient, you're going to crinkle it. So just take your time. Plus it's going to save you time in the end anyways. You won't be redoing it or trying to fix it or fix a crease or, you know, deal with dirt or contamination or whatever. So, all right. Okay, rotate that to a clean spot. A lot of times I'll peel that gasket back and hold it with my finger. Because when that gasket touches the film, it creates pressure and water and you'll get little fingers. So I just want that pressure off the film when I'm carding. I'll do that sometimes if I know that it's a tight gasket. And I take the card corner and I really get it in behind there because there's a lot of water down in there. You don't want it to suck that water up. You want to make sure you get, so the film is down about an inch past that gasket and there's water trapped down in there and you've pushed the water down. So you really got to work that out from behind the film that's down in there about an inch. If you don't, it's going to kind of suck up and you'll get a little finger bubble and it's going to bring dirty water with it and you'll get some contamination in there. So I'll do this 2 or 3 times most time, but just pull that gasket out and you really get that card in there. You can go straight at it if you want, like this, but really if you can get the corner of it way down past the film, that's going to roll the water off the back side of the film. Okay, and there's a handful of really good tricks. If you could follow all those tricks, you'd have a clean install most of the time.
Hey guys, thanks for watching our video. We hope you found it helpful. If you did, please take the time to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, don't forget to check us out on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. We've had a number of people actually, who've reached out to us about Install Pro shirts, hats, other swag. We thought we would turn it back out to you guys and let you guys give us some ideas for some shirts and stuff that we can do. It could be serious stuff, it could be funny stuff, there could be sayings, whatever you guys would like to see. Take the time to leave some comments below or shoot us an email at support@installpros.com. Again, thanks for watching our video. Don't forget to subscribe.